Hello again. This is a PowerPoint on accessibility, usability, and universal design. It was made by someone else and I modified it for the purpose of this class, and it covers the major principles of universal design. Um, to open up, there's a picture of a large staircase with a ramp going right through the middle of the staircase, zigzagging right through. It says that a more accessible environment benefits everyone and encourages diversity in our society. What is important about this picture is that the ramp is not going around a building, or it's not way sideways from the main staircase, so that people who are on wheelchairs or have strollers or are old have to go all the way around and cannot share the main way with others. This ramp going right through the center enables everyone to go right through the same part and have the same access through the same space to a building or to another street or whatever. And it also looks quite beautiful. There's a difference between accessibility and usability. Accessibility is defined as somebody when somebody is capable or something is capable of being reached, whereas usability is capability of being used. Important elements of website usability are, for example, learnability, whether students can use the site effectively the first time to learn, memorability, whether students can remember the site and how it works the next time they visit, effectiveness, whether students can easily navigate through the website, efficiency, can students find what they need and accomplish their goal in a reasonable amount of time, and satisfaction, finally, whether students have a good feeling about the site and if the content, whether the content is presented. Website accessibility is one of the main accessibility issues that concerns everyone, not only people with physical disabilities, but pretty much everyone who is internet user. There are 9 principles of universal design for instruction. Instruction should be equitable in use, flexible in use, simple and intuitive. The information should be perceptible. There should be some tolerance for error, low physical effort, size and shape should suit all. It should keep in mind the community of learners and also the instructional environment. Principle 1, equitable use. Here's a picture of a door that says automatic door caution. These automatic doors are often easier to use for many other people who cannot open heavy door and here they can simply just push a button. There's also a picture of a street with a curb cut and a crossing that leads directly to a sidewalk. There's no curbs to go over. Universal design needs to benefit all users. In here, it is not only about people on wheelchairs, it is about anyone with a stroller, anyone with a shopping cart, anyone who is older and has issues going through those curbs, and small children as well. Principle 2, universal or things should be flexible in use. The design should provide choice in method of use. We should consider the distribution of lecture notes, for example, or handouts to students via the internet, and that's what we are doing by making audios of these PowerPoints, and as well as having captions and making everything accessible via the internet. Your entire bachelor's degree can be done online, so that is the flexibility in use for everyone. Principle 3 is that websites and things should be simple and intuitive to use. Our design of courses should be predictable and straightforward. Unnecessary complexity should be eliminated, and it should be just really clear when you look at it right away. Principle 4 concerns perceptible information. Design of courses or websites or items should communicate necessary information effectively, regardless of sensory abilities. For example, including captions for video presentations not only benefits students who are deaf or hard of hearing, but also those who are English as a second language learners. I can say that in my case, I often prefer watching movies with subtitles or having lectures with captioning, so I could understand much better by reading it and not only hearing it. Principle 5 is tolerance for error. There should be some tolerance for error, and if we make a failure or an error, we should have a way to reverse it. The design minimizes hazards and the adverse consequences of accidental or unintended actions. An example is educational software that provides guidance and background information when the student makes an appropriate selection. Another thing that we are quite used to is when we type, we have spell checks, automatic spell checks that help us with accidental errors. So all these features are now embedded in computers and we just take them for granted. Principle 6 is low physical effort. Things should be easy to navigate and easy to operate and easy to maintain. As well as website design should minimize non-essential physical effort in order to allow maximum attention to learning. An example are just doors to a lecture hall that open automatically with a simple and light push, large push button that almost everyone can push, whereas opening a heavy door with a knob, for example, that needs to spin is impossible for some people. Principle 7 is size and space. Um, Curriculum design takes into consideration appropriate size and space for approach, reach, manipulations, and use, regardless of students' body size, posture, mobility, and communication needs. An example is a flexible work area designed for use by students who are left or right-handed and with diverse physical characteristics and abilities. I often think of seating because I had a back injury when I was young, and I really enjoy when there is variety of seating options, even an option when you can lay down and attend a lecture or do some work online in a position on a bed with some uh, accommodations and some modifications that allow you to still use a computer or a working area in any way. Principle 8 is a community of learners. Curriculum design promotes interaction and communication among students and between students and faculty. An example is a study group or learning communities that also are examples of university design principles of, about maintaining community. Principle 9 covers instructional climate. Design of a course or a website should be welcoming and should be inclusive. High expectations are exposed for all students. An example is a statement, for example, in a syllabus that encourages students to respect diversity, or encouraging students to discuss any special learning needs and information on the Disability Services Office. Finally, I have a few questions for you. If you are teaching, if you are a teacher, or if you plan on teaching, or if you ever give a lecture somewhere or go to a conference, keep in mind all these questions and consideration. Is your teaching environment welcoming to all? Just because physical barriers exist in our physical environment, it doesn't mean that our environment is accessible. No, I mean, I should say, if there are no physical barriers, it doesn't mean that our physical environment is accessible, because there are also social and curricular and communication barriers that exist in our instructional environment, and those are harder to spot on and harder to deal with, harder to overcome. The word universal in universal design does not imply that one size fits all. Instead, it stresses the need for flexible, customizable content, assignments, and activities. This is a quote by CAST, which is the Center for Applied Special Technology. If you go to cast.org, I think it's org, not com, you can find many other ideas on universal design, especially if you are designing something new, whether it is a website or whether it is a product. You could also find some ideas there for our assignment on cultural product. So universal design is not that one size fits all. Remember that. And some final thoughts from an article by titled "Maximizing the Reach of the Web." Um, Accessibility should be for everyone, regardless of culture, their abilities, and any other characteristics. Accessibility should be for everything, applications and devices from computers to mobile devices. Accessibility should be found everywhere from high to low bandwidth. Accessibility should include and have diverse modes of interaction, such as touch, voice. There should be assistive technologies included. And accessibility and universal design should enable computers to do more useful work, such as advanced data searching and sharing. Finally,